Hello, what's up? It's your boy Peasant. Today we're going to talk about um, gambling. And is trading gambling? Um, can you trade if you're a gambler? That answer is no. You can't trade if you're a gambler, unfortunately. Um, I went to Gamblers Anonymous and I gathered data. And I have some notes here that I took on one of the occasions that I went. I'm just going to read them off. Powerlessness in going back, going back, going back, even though you lose every time. Big jackpot, but we don't stop till it's all gone. What that means is we're looking for that big jackpot, but we don't. Compulsive gamblers, real gamblers, problematic gamblers they qualify themselves in Gamblers Anonymous as a progressive illness, like a legitimate progressive illness. It's just not physical, it's mental. Um, it's a progressive illness that they cannot stop until all their money is gone. Whatever bankroll they came into this casino with, they will not stop until it's gone. So it's a pretty bad. When we start, we cannot stop. Okay. When you can't stop trading, that is compulsive gambling. So that's a note that I wrote down for myself. When you cannot stop trading, I've been there before where I walk away from the computer, I just come right back. And the reason we do that is because you know that mouse experiment where the mice pulled the lever for cocaine and then pulled the lever for food, nutrition. All the mice died because they kept on pulling it for cocaine. They'd rather have cocaine than food to live. And unfortunately, gambling is not about the money. That's the facade. It's about the feeling. It's about the feeling of being up in the air on something. You don't know if you'll land. And then you stick the landing and then you get it. And you're like, yes. But then you can lose, obviously. So you might like the feeling of being up in the air in a position in a trade, um, in that crave for that. That's gambling. I mean, gambling is craving that. You call it dopamine. I don't really know, but it's craving that feeling um, when something's uncertain, and it's almost a little bit of adrenaline because adrenaline junkies diving, like skydiving or whatever, diving out with those squirrel suits and like going close to the mountains and stuff. It's adrenaline because you're feet away from instantaneous death. You cannot go that way. Like trading's similar because in your account, if you're risking a lot, it is death to the account. So it's kind of like it's similar. It's a similar adrenaline rush when you escape and you actually win a lot of money for taking on that risk, and it's a good feeling. It's a rush, and that is what trading gives you. And I'm just trying to understand. Look, these are the gambling notes that I have. I'm just saying, like that's what trading can. That's what people use trading for a lot of the times, and me in the past. Me probably right now. I don't even know if I think I'm trading, but how can you trade without gambling at this point? If you're a day trader, how can you trade without having any feelings? without having any adrenaline of some sort. The issue is it's where it becomes compulsive is when you cannot stop. Compulsive gamblers cannot stop. When we start, we can't stop. It's an illness, and it gets worse and worse. Progressive, meaning worse and worse and worse. The more you gamble, the more you can't stop. The more you can't stop, the more you gamble, and the more you just, it's an addiction. It's a swirl all the way down in a toilet bowl, and it results in three things. It results in insanity, imprisonment, or death. That is the three options if you go all the way down that hole. If you go all the way down the compulsive gambling. Imprisonment if you happen to steal to provide for your addiction, or insanity if you just keep on doing the same thing and you're just you become, because that's probably the one I would have. I'm saying that because you have this hope in you when all gamblers have this optimism, have this jackpot mentality that there is something at the end of the rainbow. And I think if you refuse to acknowledge reality, that maybe there is not anything at the end of this rainbow. There is no jackpot coming. There is no big win. There is not. You've been lied to. You're wrong. Like, you start questioning your own self because you've believed this. That's why you're gambling. That's why people gamble, is because they don't gamble because they think they're going to lose. They gamble because they think they're going to win. And it becomes confusing. And with confusion on steroids, like confusion times 10, mass confusion is psychopathy, I think. Mass confusion in your brain, you become crazy. And that's insanity. So that is an option for gamblers if they continue to do this and they continue into the extreme, into the abyss. Imprisonment if they steal, insanity, and then or death, which would probably come to suicide, because that would be all the money lost, and then not to mention all your reality is not even real anymore, where you have all this thought that this is going to happen. You're going to buy this big house with all this winnings and all this and that. You're going to be respected by all and all that. All these gambler dreams. That's a thread in common amongst gamblers. That's why it's written in Gamblers Anonymous. They all have that dream. They all want to be respected by everybody. They all want to be big nuts. You know what I'm saying? So, and a lot of money. So, those are the three options. Sorry to get dark. Sorry to get a little dark there. That's the truth of it. And now we got to figure out as traders, what are we even in? What game are we playing? Are we playing this game? Like, are we gamblers? What's going on here? We gotta weed the garden to see what we're actually growing here. So I'm just gonna continue these notes and let's think about it. That's all. Higher ADHD rate, higher attention to detail. Okay. When I gamble, I lose. Okay. God-given intuition is not. It's gonna go up. All right. So this is probably my comment. This was saying, So you know how you're trading, you have this idea of the marketplace. Oh, it's gonna go up. I just have a feeling it's gonna go up. I just know it. That's intuition. You're just like, you want to go up. I say that God given intuition from God telling you what to do and telling you it's not God. It's not right. I don't know. I'm just saying that was my notes. That's a difficult thing to say. Because everybody develops an assumption in the market. If you're trading, you start developing an assumption. So, not necessarily it's gonna be God's voice. So I think there's a lot to unravel when it comes to God and trading and gambling, all that. Um, what voice are you listening to? That is a big statement. But I think we just need to we just first and foremost need to have no guilt when we're trading, because if you're guilty, oh, I shouldn't be doing this, shouldn't be doing this, shouldn't be doing that, you start to choose bad. You start to choose bad and bad and bad. And that's never good, and that's not what God wants either. Um, but I think that, I don't think God's telling you up or down. No. So I'd agree. No, I don't think that that's God's voice. I think that's just your intuition, which is built up of your all the chart time that your eyes have seen and put in your unconscious and in your brain. It goes somewhere. Um, you see ideas, even if you don't know what to put, like put a finger on it. You have a reason that you think it's going to go up. And I urge traders to dig into that reason and write it down. Just write it down in your journal, whatever trade journal you have for each trade. You got to write it, like try to dig into that reason. You can't just be ambiguously longing. In my cases, it's overextended. I think it's just gone down too far. And that's why I'm going to go long. And it's past a lot of distal lines. It's past a lot of lows, and I think that it's got to create a low now. Like that's what I'll write down. And that's when I have like an intuition, a crave that it's gonna go up. You know. So when gamblers win, they dream bigger. Oh, when gamblers win, they dream bigger. This is a good one because when you're gambling, there is no top. That's the problem in a lot of gambling. It's just you win. Well, what's the top from here? You win again? Screw it. You have nothing in mind, so you just keep on going. There is no roof. And there is a floor, because the floor is when you have no money. So it's which one's going to be hit. The floor is going to be hit because the roof keeps on going up. There is no roof. And that's what problem gamblers have. They don't have a roof. They never had a roof because they always just want the most. They're greed. They just want the most money possible. And I can understand that, bro. I want the most money possible too. I can understand where they're coming from. But rational roofs, same. A rational target of how much money you want to make in a trading day or whatever, in a gambling whatever experience. Having a target is good because it just stops you. Like you get to that target, oh, I made $50 to $2,000. What's it now? We can go to $100,000. That's what the gambler thinks. But really, you have to be like, $2,000, I'm out, done. There is no, oh, I hit my target, it's over. Just have to be out. It's over. And if you do that, you won't be as much of a gambler. So we're trying to trade without gambling. And that's one thing that you can implement is when gamblers win, they dream bigger. So in order to reverse this, when you win, you take your profits. You get out. You have an idea, not an idea. You have an actual damn number that you want to get to before cutting it. It's over. You know, like if you have a 15 grand trading account, you want to get to 30 grand. That's it. That number is in permanent ink. 30 grand. Boom. It's over. But I can get to 200. I just doubled my account. I could double this to get to 60. I could double that to get to 120. I could go in on that 120 account. We can get to $500,000. Yeah. Yup. Yeah, I know you could. That's a lot of hoops to jump through. What I'm just saying is, do you want to be a gambler or do you want to be a trader? You have to exercise the muscles that are contrary to gambling. If you exercise the gambling muscles, you'll become more of a gambler. A gambler has no roof. A gambler has no amount of money that they're content with because they just want more and more and more. So we need to have less and less and less. I'm fine with making 15 grand to a 25 grand account. That's 10 grand profit. That's 66% rate of return with whatever time. I'm happy with that. That's a trader. That's not a gambler. That's a trader. And what's more important is that you actually take the profits at that point in time. It's not just whatever. You know, you actually take your profits. It's not just words out of your mouth. I think that's important. So that's giving us hope that you can trade without gambling. It's giving us hope. Next one is never will stop because there's always one more time, one more money. That makes sense. Yep. You don't stop because there's another trade coming, and then you could make more money, and then you could more, you know, never stops. Intuition. When gambling, we feel that it's right. Is intuition God? I think there is intuition that is God. There's a conscience. If you're about to do something very wrong, you may get confronted by God in your conscience. It says, you know this is not right. And that's a good thing. In trading, you probably have that too. I think a little bit less of that in trading, though. I think we need to have a little bit less of that intuition, that spontaneity, or that wishful thinking. So I read this example. I flipped right to this page. It feels right. This page feels right. This is what I'm supposed to read right now. But I had the same intuition when trading and gambling, saying, oh, this stock, it just feels right. Like, oh, I flipped to this page in the Bible. This is the one I'm going to read. Like, it feels right. Same thing with trading. I found a stock, whatever this zone, whatever it is, it feels right. I think it's going to go up. It feels right. And I think you're never going to cut this out all the way, but I think the gambling muscle is mostly this feeling of what's right and wrong. Mostly exercising the feeling. They're not driven by rational thought. And I think if we traders are not going to be gamblers, then it's good to exercise against that intuition, just lucky feeling. Okay, try to get the lucky feeling away from you. Just say, I understand that. Like, I understand you presented me with this lucky feeling. I understand it, and I'm setting it aside. I see it, I feel it, and I'm not going to take that for granted. Lucky feelings, I'm tracking right now, lucky feelings. I have many trades that I have lucky feelings on. So I'm tracking my win rate on those. But the idea is traders are fueled by this. Their direction, their direction the boat motor is, they're driving, is it's all about that lucky feeling. They just go left if it's gonna be a lucky feeling. They go right if they have a lucky feeling going that way. Like it's all lucky feeling, and that's not what you want in trading, because in trading we're not trying to be gamblers, right? We're trying to we are in the gambler's arena, all right? Trading is a chance, it's probability, it's a gamble, okay? When it comes down to it. But if we can be not like the gamblers, that would make us better off. And to be not like the gamblers is not to rely on this lucky feeling. Don't rely on the lucky feeling. And I think that'll help in trading, and it'll help give us the gambling resistance, or resistance to gambling. And I think that's probably the most important piece, and I have to end it right now. But that we're trying, as traders, we need to create a skin resistant against gambling. Gambling's all around us. Gambling is a common disease in trading, and we need to build resistance against it. Resistance. And we understand it, and this is the vaccines. These are the vaccines to protect you from gambling. The vaccines are to not do what gamblers do, to go against the gambling, to go against exercising gambling. And how to do that is, number one, do not be driven by the lucky feeling. The lucky feeling is a third wheel. It's a accessory. It's a little thing. It's not the main course. It's a I don't know. It's like a small amount. You know what I'm saying? Don't be driven by the lucky feeling. Number two, have a ceiling. We all have risk stops, but do we have ceiling stops? Have a ceiling. Have how much you are not going to make anymore. I'm not going to make more than 2,000 today. I'm not going to make more. It's not in the cards. It's not up to negotiation. And I think gamblers don't have that, man. Gamblers don't have that. So if you want to be a trader and not a gambler, those are the two things we need to follow. Okay. That's it. Those are all my notes from Gamblers Anonymous. Thank you. Peasant out. Peace.